What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. That guy over there is Fat Man Zoom. And today we got a special topic today for today's video.
Yeah, we're talking about Dividend Aristocrat stocks. I'm excited. And we are today deciding to add some to our Dividend bot, our automated trading bot.
This is something that we've actually just kind of started doing, which we're really excited about. But first, before we get into the bot itself, let's go ahead and explain to everybody what exactly is Aristocrat Dividend Stocks.
Okay, so these are cool. And you guys, if you don't know them, you should know them. So we know Dividend Stocks. An Aristocrat is qualified if you are a member of the S&P 500 and you've had an annual increase of your dividend for a minimum of 25 consecutive years, which just means we can count on that dividend. So it's because if you meant 25 years, you've been through a couple of downturns, like recessions, and we're still moving up. So yeah, that's what qualifies.
So essentially the level of risk is quite low for these types of stocks.
Yes. Yep.
Cool. So then, we want to put some Aristocrat type stocks in our bot. So let's go ahead and explain to our folks too what exactly the bot does and how it trades these dividend stocks.
Yeah. So obviously with our Chaos crew, those are active members that are here day in and day out.
Yeah.
But we also understand that some people on our channel have full-time jobs, they're more long-term traders or long-term investors really.
Yeah.
And we created this for the long-term investor who wants to be a little bit more involved or have some opportunity for investment but can't manage it themselves. So we thought, hey, why don't we get with our boy Jake? Shout out to Jake, co-founder of We Trade HQ, who builds bots. And why don't we create one for our crew to be able to trade for them? So it is automated, fully automated, plug and play. You set it up, and for a monthly fee, it trades for you. It gets in and out of stocks. And this one is focused on dividends. It's the first one we did. We plan to launch more, but the idea behind this is long-term investment, long-term growth. You hear that, James McCrea? You hear that, team performance coaching? I'm just kidding. Yeah, so that's what the bot is. And we're slowly releasing licenses. So we'll talk about that a little bit more about the next round of that.
Yeah, so this is also could be something that I would imagine that you could eventually build to a point to where it's just generating monthly income for you, right?
That's the goal. And really, we talk about this all the time from a business perspective and just from a long-term fiscal strategy perspective it's about the passive income streams.
Yeah.
And what is it? The average millionaire has seven income streams passive, right?
Yeah.
7 passive income streams. It's not about your 9 to 5 people,
right?
It's about the money working for you when you're not awake or when you're whatever. It's working for you and you don't have to put the energy in. It's doing it for you. And compounding growth, if you can put those two things together, really most people that are buying this it's for the retirement account, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the goal. Get some good monthly income and potentially, if you can get a cool 40K coming in down the road every month, like it's not going to make you rich, but it's going to be another stream that'll get you on your way.
Right. So all great stuff, man. I'm actually super pumped for this. I also have the bot, and it's started to work over the last 4 weeks. It's been great. But we have 3 more stocks that we want to put into this bot in particular to continue to build this out, to create income for us on a passive scale, passive level, whatever you want to call it. So what exactly are we picking to go into this bot? Yeah,
so while the work's not, you don't have to do any work. We're actively managing this bot. So we're working on the strategies. We're adding positions to it constantly. And one cool thing about the bot, the people that hold licenses, we do quarterly meetings. So we're about to have our first one in 2 months where every quarter we're going to get together and you get to basically be a part of the process and give feedback on strategies and really the stocks that go into it. So that's exciting, but we already have some in. We want to add some. Before I get into the 3 that we added, I want to talk about some honorable mentions.
Okay.
All right. So as a Dividend Aristocrat, there are currently 66 stocks that hold that title. So it's tough to go through and pick the ones we wanted to go through.
Yeah.
We wanted to find ones that not only had a good dividend, so the criteria for the bot is they have to have a minimum of 3%. So if they don't currently have a 3% yield, they don't qualify, they're out. However, we also, a bonus to it is if we can have some growth in it as well, because typically, as you know, dividend stocks aren't great movers. They're not volatile. They're more value stocks.
Right.
And so if we can get some upside as well, that's great.
Yeah.
So honorable mentions, I have 5 that we talked about. J&J, was a tough one. I really wanted it to make the cut. It's been it's actually had 57 straight years of consecutive dividend growth.
That's crazy.
It was at 2.45%. So it was a little too hot for us. However, I will say if that yield becomes 3%, because it's dictated on price, I think it should be on the watch list for our dividend bot, because I think at 3%, I think this thing should go in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely going to be. I love Johnson & Johnson just to own, period. So,
and you say it's the best balance sheet in America, right?
Yeah, best balance sheet in America.
Yeah, so we love this company. We love this in a long-term swing trading account. But unfortunately, we're just talking about Dividend Bot today. The next one, another one that's great, McDonald's. Steady Eddie, 44 straight years, 2.41%. Again, just the yield isn't there for us. But McDonald's is a great company. I think, again, you can make the argument that it deserves a spot in your long-term portfolio. And also, given the COVID situation, they have efficiencies, and also their drive-through has benefited that situation.
Let me pause you for a second. You know what else is actually really cool is that these companies have actually increased their dividends despite the pandemic. So continue.
The next one is Pepsi. All right, Pepsi, I would say that was the closest one to get in. 47 straight years, 2.88%. We love Pepsi. However, we found one that's better along the same lines. Hint, hint. That did make the cut. The next one is Caterpillar. 26 consecutive years, so it recently became a dividend aristocrat in 2019, 2.13%. Again, low yield. And then the last one, honorable mention, Cisco, 50 years. And 2.32%. Again, they didn't have the yield.
I mean, Cisco, Johnson & Johnson, those are going to probably be the two that I have my eye on the closest when it comes to a dividend, trying to create income and that sort of thing. Good, solid companies. We love those just in general, but all good honorable mentions. So now what exactly made the cut? What's going in our bot?
All right, we got 3 stocks. Number 1, Coke. Coca-Cola.
Love me some Coke.
You love Coke. So Coke, we played Coke earnings last year, I think Q3. It's had 58 consecutive years of annual dividend increases.
That's insane.
And it's got a yield of 3.27%, which is great. Back when we were looking at it, it had over 5%.
That's when I got beaten down.
And I don't know I think a lot of people forget this, but one of the main reasons why we liked it is 2021 is going to be an interesting year for Coke. Pepsi sort of usually has the edge, but I think, and Pepsi has the edge because of their diversification. Now, Coke did something interesting last year, which is they bought Topo Chico, or they have Topo Chico, and they talked about 2021, they're going to release a hard seltzer, Topo Chico, which I think is going to be awesome. If they can launch it this year, that industry, like the hard drinks, are killing it, right? The Trulies of the world. And on top of that, Topo Chico is a strong brand, does really well. I'm a big fan of Topo Chico, but that's just great for them. I think this has growth opportunity that people are sleeping on, but it's also got a pretty good yield, so that's number 1.
Full disclosure, you turned me on the Topo Chico too. I'm bought in.
Listen, and you love Coke and you love Topo Chico. It only made sense.
You throw alcohol in there, I'm sold.
Number 2, AbbVie. 47 years, 4.77%.
Damn.
That's a delicious dividend.
That sure is.
That's what we say.
That's real good.
This one is strictly a diversification play for our portfolio, because we actually have AT&T and Verizon in there, and we discussed maybe pulling one of them or trying to change the algorithm so they alternate. But that was one of the big things. And so to have something that's in a totally different space, we like the company, and the yield is phenomenal. Like I said, delicious. Next one, number 3, the last one, and I think this is going to come as a surprise to the Chaos crew, because you have been extremely bearish on this company. XOM, which is ExxonMobil, 37 years, 7.43%. I couldn't get away from this dividend. We actually have one that's in the same field that we may add to it. But ExxonMobil's getting in. What do you say, man?
So Exxon, I mean, that Exxon, everybody asked me if they should get into Exxon or even just oil in general. And I have always kind of been like, it's probably a good one to stay away from, at least if you're looking to invest in this long term. But you can't ignore the yield on this thing. It's incredible. If you're looking to create income via dividends, then this is a great one to hold, and I like it for the dividend bot.
And I love your perspective on this. My thought behind that as well, as far as putting it in, was twofold. One is these are one of those big companies that I don't think the government will ever allow them to fail. So I think from a long-term investment portfolio and for our bot, it's safer.
Yeah.
But they also have a ton of cash on hand, so their ability to evolve, even if they don't blow up, as far as maintaining their dividend, that's key. You have to maintain your dividend, and if you've done it for 50 years,
right,
you're going to keep doing it.
Well, and here's the other thing.
Sorry,
too.
37 years, my fault.
The dividend yield will probably continue to go up because of the new administration that's coming in. You know, the Democrats hold the House and the Senate. So I think that the more that we move towards clean energy and that sort of thing actually will increase the dividend, will force them to increase the dividend on Exxon and some of the other crude oil companies and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and while this might not be a good short-term play, the one thing I will say about Exxon and having cash, for a stock perspective and a shareholder perspective, as long as you put it to work, it's going to look good. So if Exxon comes out with any releases about moving towards clean energy or investing in moving away from oil, whether it works or not, it's going to move the stock short term, which again, our algorithm hopefully will take that into account and we can take advantage of those moves as well. But that's the type of fodder that moves these stocks.
Yeah.
So there is one we like better as far as the oil stock's concerned. That might be a future video. If you guys like these videos, if you want to see more of the dividend stocks, definitely let us know. Definitely give it a like and subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally, how can people actually buy the stock? How do they, or the bot rather? How can they get into the bot?
Yeah, so we're releasing licenses for the bot in 4 phases. The second phase is actually this Friday, January 16th at 11 a.m. We're going to release it, but if you want, you got to RSVP to get onto the webinar. So we're going to do a webinar, we're going to do an info session, and then we're going to give people that are part of the webinar first right of refusal for the license. So go to ownthechaos.com, hit RSVP for Dividend Bot. It's the first section, and then you'll be on the email list to get the link. Or go to stockwatchsunday.com, click on ask a question and say, yo, Fat Man Zoom, I want on the RSVP list, and you'll join us there. But as of right now, it's only for Chaos Crew, so you do have to be a crew. So click the join button as well if you want to be a part of the crew and get a chance at the bot.
Yeah, and finally, let us know what you guys think too. Do you like the dividend stocks that we actually chose? Do you think that we should put different ones in there? Which ones that you actually use? Do you make a living? Do you earn an income off of dividend stocks and that sort of thing? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. As always, please like and subscribe. If you want to be a part of the crew, hit that join button next to subscribe. And as always, folks, we will see you next time.
Bye.